put our safety goggles to protect our eyes. Everything's included in the kit. Put on our safety gloves. So glasses, gloves, and gravity, 3 Gs. So we're glasses to cover safety our eyes, gloves to keep our skin safe, and gravity means we're working with chemicals. Keep it out of your breathing zone. Work down here. See there?
Am I showing clean?
Yes. Oh, you are? Let me get you another set.
That's what Randy said, to show clean.
Okay. I have to get another set of stuff out. So, in this case, what she's saying is she's going to show you that soil is clean.
That's just regular old dirt from Texas. It might not be clean if it's from Texas.
Well, come on now. This ain't from the side of the road. All right, here's you another set so we can show you the soil's clean.
So what she's going to do right here, she's going to measure out 5 grams, 4.8 to 5.2.
We measure out 5 grams of soil because that's the EPA recommended sample size for doing soil analysis. So we do it by 5 grams. In the real world, it doesn't have to be 5.00 is what John's saying. It can be 4.8 to 5.2. It's more important to get that soil sample measured out as quick as possible and get our solvent on there. Once you put our extract solvent on that soil sample, you've trapped those light volatiles from dissipating. That means you're going to get the most accurate measurement you can by trapping those light volatiles. Which is also why, even though our results has been found by the US EPA and the US Army Corps of Engineers to be within 10% of a lab result, we're typically a little bit higher concentration reading because we trap those light volatiles. We're analyzing that sample in real time, not later, like when you send it to a lab. In that case, you put it in a jar. As soon as you open that jar, the light volatiles are gone. But we're trapping them with our solvent. So you measure out your 5 grams, you put your extract solvent in there, you stir it around. When you stir it around, you're increasing the surface contact of the solvent with the contaminant in the soil and pulling the contaminant into the solvent. Now what she's done is the next step is decant that off from the beaker into the test tube up to the scribe line. And now we're going to add our color development reagent catalyst, which is stark white. Stark white, white represents 0. If there's any hydrocarbon contamination in that solvent whatsoever, as soon as that white powder hits that solvent, boom, color pops. It's how fast the chemistry works. So in this case, again, what we're doing, we're showing you the soil is clean, which is represented by the white. So we know we have white, so we're starting with, you can't see it. We're starting with clean soil.
I don't want to be in this video.
You're out of it.
You see how it's stark white. That means we have clean soil. Now what she's going to do is she's going to contaminate that soil with diesel. Okay.
Here's one of our users in North Carolina, Garrett here behind us. If you want to ask him,
Hey, that's great.
he can tell you all kinds of lies.
It works great. That's for dang sure.
Spread it around to make sure that soil sample is completely saturated by that diesel, get it nice and contaminated.
Really?
I've always had it. You don't play around. They don't play
Here, huh?
Yeah.
I get it on my side of my head and my eyebrows.
They don't play around every now and then, and then they don't go away for 4 or 5
One of the
days.
questions we get asked all the time is, does soil type matter? Does it wet or dry matter? In neither case, not for the chemistry that we're using for the analyzation or the chemistry that they're using to break it down. Because as you can see, we started with a very dry soil. Now that we've added the diesel, look, it's a little bit saturated. And then as we clean it, we're going to add water to it, and we're going to produce water. Remember, we're going to produce water and carbon dioxide. So it's going to become more muddy. So this is a perfect demonstration to show you that soil type doesn't matter either. And also whether it's sand or clay, that type of thing doesn't matter either. So again, going through our simple process of doing a soil analysis, measure out 5 grams of soil. That's what you do is you put your scale on, you put your empty beaker, you hit the tare button, which takes the weight of the glass out of play, and then you measure out your 5 grams of soil. And then you grab our extract solvent and you pour it into your 5 grams of soil sample. Pour the entire contents in there. By the way, the entire contents, there's 10 mils of solvent in there. And there's 10 mils, there's excess solvent. When you pour into the scribe line on test tube, it's only 4.2 mils. There's excess solvent for a purpose. In the event that your result was very, very dark, way off scale, you could pull the 10 mil graduated cylinder that's included in your kit out, go back to that original extract, pour 1 mil in there, and do all the way up to a 10-to-1 dilution to bring it in range and to quantify what that number is if it's off scale. So Again,
That's how I got to that 600,000 mark. That 10 times
remember he told me your thing doesn't work, it's still black and I've already treated it. I said, well, get your graduated cylinder out and do a dilution. All right, so again, now adding that color development reagent catalyst to our extract, and notice, see, I hadn't even shaken it yet, it's already discolored. That's how fast the chemistry works. Now we're gonna shake it up and find out how contaminated we are. And we know we added diesel, so we're gonna compare it to our diesel calibration. Notice how dark that is. So it's sitting over there in between.
What is that?
It's in between the 2.5 and the 50,000.
What's your eyeball tell you that is?
It's pretty close. It's almost here, but it's not
Okay.
quite.
About 30,000 or so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of that real fast.
See, when she was making the reports before we had this app, she'd say between 2.5 and 5.0. She wouldn't give you a number like 30. You know, she'd give that number. I said, "Then Jessica, get them closer, you know." She goes, "No, I'm not going to do anything. That's all I have to go by. That's all I have to go by." And
So there's a good semi-quantitative, an estimated number for where you're at. You know it's between 25,000 and 50,000. That's what this would tell you. But now we can quantify that number by using a mobile app to make the concentration calculation for us.
Right there, she's just spraying water
So-
to make that soil more permeable.
So now we're going into the treatment phase, right? So now that we know what our contamination level is, we're going to treat it. The first thing you want to do is you want to saturate that soil with a little bit of water, just so that you're making it permeable to accept the solution, the eliminate solution. Not to the point you have standing water, but just to make it nice and permeable so it doesn't clump up as you're putting it on there. Now she's adding the eliminate solution to that soil to treat it. And now this, again, the fork is simulating tilling out in the field. We're just stirring it around. We're increasing the surface contact of the solution with the contaminant, the diesel fuel that's in that soil, so that it creates that surface contact so we can break it down. Notice how our soil sample is no longer dry. It's turning into more of a muddy mixture. Also, in doing that tilling process, you brought the soil from the bottom up that hadn't been contacted by the solution. Are you just doing the one treatment? I don't know how you're doing it these days. Remember, you treat top and bottom, or just starting around was good enough?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of soil in there.
So going back to our normal process of doing a soil analysis, and
what happened?
She wants to
Clean it
clean
up?
some.
Clean that spoon. Grab me another spoon. It's contaminated.
So we're going to do our normal process of doing our soil sample. We measure out our 5 grams of soil. Now it's 5 grams of mud.
Isn't that diesel in that
I
one?
don't want to contaminate my
Yeah.
Put
clean
it down.
stuff. There we go.
I didn't buy this shirt, I don't care.
Cleaning off that spoon that was contaminated by diesel with, of course, eliminate.
Thank you.
Of course. Measure out our 5 grams of soil.
What else would you clean
or mud.
contamination with?
Of course, 5.0, I'm sure.
Yes.
A little bit heavy on the sample. See, there's a root there. If it were in your field, it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the chemistry if there's a root in there or anything like that. Also, sometimes when you're using dry soil, when you do your extract and you pour it over in the test tube, sometimes some soil particulates will come over. It's not going to affect your chemistry whatsoever. All right, add our extract solvent.
It's tough.
He's on the vice grips?
Well, he actually does. He has a tool that has it's a socket rig, a socket, and you turn the socket. So I don't know if you had seen earlier in the extracts over here. Give me one of those extracts, the dirty one, no, the beaker. I think it's that one.
That's the dirty one.
A telltale sign of high contamination is when the solvent's no longer clear. Notice how clear that solvent is right there. So that means the treatment's working. But normal process, decant that off into the test tube.
Or you can smell it.
You know, you can treat and smell it. Add the color development reagent catalyst. So just FYI, we just turned 10 minutes in this presentation. I just want to show you how fast this is working. So we've done 3 soil tests, right? 3 different analysis. Clean, dirty, and now we're going to go back to clean in 10 minutes. So that's not even 5 minutes or anything like that per test. So we're 10 minutes and 20 seconds, so we've done 3 analyses.
We went from roughly 30,000 to maybe.
Anyway, I'm going to tell you what it is in just a second. Anyway, you can see. So I'd say we were at, I would call that earlier 35,000, but now I'm thinking it's more like 40. And this,
Appreciate it.
Probably
2,500.
yeah, I think it falls in there. Probably 3,000. But
Roughly 25 to 30,000 in one treatment.
we're gonna find out real fast by going like this. We're gonna go to my mobile app.